Hello, Holly. How are you? I just realized that I didn't turn my AC off. Is it like loud or is it making a background noise? Hello, Anna. Hello, Sue. Let me know and I will turn it off just as soon as I tag everyone. There we go. Share to the group. And then we're just going to chill today, you guys, because your girl's burnt out. It's only 90 degrees. Only? Only. Ew, that sucks. It's been hot here too. Makes a background noise. Okay, so is it annoying though? Because I don't want it to be like coming in the background all annoying and shit. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it off. I'll just turn it off. It felt like 104 a couple hours ago. Ugh, I do not miss that. Because where I'm from in California, in the middle of the desert, um, it gets up to like 120 plus, and it is not a good time. Which is why I moved to Colorado, and then now we have a heat wave this summer. It's like the whole summer is a heat wave. Hello, Susan. It's not annoying. Oh, it's okay. I just turned it off because it's not hot in this area. So nice to see you, gorgeous. Hope you and the kiddos are doing well. Okay. I have been so tired and overwhelmed lately. Hello, Jay. Hello, Ben. So, along with the energy, I was snooping in on my chart the other day, and I was like, oh, that explains it. So yeah, I've got some stuff going on in my chart that is causing like physical exhaustion on top of everything. So that's what I've been dealing with. So we're just going to be nice and easy today. We're going to do the collective reading and just chit chat for a little bit and just be casual because hello, Ariana. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? Okay. We're going to see what these cards have to say because I was getting a few things, wasn't really like super paying attention while I was pulling them as it usually goes. But there were a couple of things that were like, okay, well, what's that about? And this is going to be one of them, the bottom of the deck card. We have the Star card in the reverse, followed by King of Swords in the reverse. So it seems like nothing is going our way right now, right? Collectively, individually, there's been a lot of, chaos and upheaval, a lot of triggers, a lot of healing taking place right now. Hello, Linda. Um, but the wounded masculine is surfacing like clearly right now, you guys. And if you think of the wounded masculine traits and apply those also to your individual experience, those kinds of things might be surfacing for you within relationships, within just regular everyday interactions with people that you know or people that you don't know. A lot of patriarchy is showing right now, which is very much rooted in the wounded masculine, which is why all the big boys and all their fucking pew pew toys and their egos, and it's like everyone's ego is surfacing right now. um but it's happening for a reason, right? We have known about the shift. We have known that they, meaning all of the wounded masculine energies, whether, regardless of how they manifest, we'll say it that way, um, in flesh, entity, whatever. All of those things are really screaming on their way out, right? Throwing little toddler temper tantrums on their way out, making an ass of themselves. Hello, Kara. Showing their asses all over the world stage and all over the stage of our lives right now. And it makes it difficult for those of us who can see the reasoning. We can identify with the traumas and the experiences that they've had across, this lifetime and many others. So it's really difficult for those of us that can understand that, can see through the whole facade and understand the underlying factors. So it makes it that much more difficult, right? Trust me, I know. Try to maintain your balance as much as possible. You are being called to place boundaries. We have the 9 of Wands showing up in the reverse. Okay. This is a lack of boundaries. Now is a time where creation and enforcement of boundaries is about to get real quick. Okay. Yeah, shit's getting wild, man. The lies are surfacing, the masks are falling off. We're seeing a glimpse into the truth about people in our own circumstances and things like that. So, boundaries, more weeding out of the garden, more aligning your life experiences to the experience that you actually want to have with true, authentic, um, you know, people and situations within it. Okay, because we can't. It's like a broken record. Like, get that shit off. I keep hearing it and it's annoying. I don't know what kind of record it is, but it's like it is a masculine voice, but it's like and it like snags and just like starts over on a loop. Um, so I don't know what that's about, but the, they're likening it to, how the wounded masculine, the toxic masculine would say that women talk too much, or women are too emotional, or, even men who are like that, or they're like, you know, they're saying like the wounded masculine, the patriarchy, that's the one that talks too much, that's too loud, that's too emotional. So stay authentic. Okay, express your emotions, advocate for yourself and others. Try not to really engage with these lower frequency aspects of people, if you are going to continue to be connected with them, or try not to engage with lower frequency people at this time. They're like, don't feed the monster. Whenever there is a child that's crying out for attention, and they're used to receiving that in a negative way, it doesn't matter what kind of attention it is, they're going to cry out for attention in some way. So usually, they'll show their asses, they'll be mischievous or throw tantrums, or we know how children are. When they're crying out for attention in the lower context. This is what they are. They're wounded little children, and it's important for you to maintain the boundaries, right? Because somebody's got to parent these unruly little individuals. Um, and if that causes any kind of separation between you and that person, if it's a relationship of some sort, then um baby, that's spiritual protection. Okay, you are divinely protected and you are divinely guided. So that's why they're saying stay authentic to you, not to what someone, anyone, even me, tells you is good and authentic or whatever. Authenticity is within, and you're the only one that knows who you authentically are. And uncovering more and more of that every single day is, of course, part of this whole journey. We do have good things coming in. We have this relationship will last a long time with poetic justice right there, under right behind it, and new love entering your life. Okay, with choose a new path. Crikey, choose a new path. Okay, the someone is cheating card is right behind that, but we don't need to pull all that out and keep going with that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that your partner, if you're in a romantic relationship, that your partner is cheating because someone is cheating in this. No, it could be you're being cheated by a job or a coworker, a colleague, being copied by someone. It happens to me all the time, you guys. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Okay. In people that pretend to follow me sometimes, but they only follow me to get my content so they can go and replicate my content. I have seen it. It's ridiculous. Keep doing it, baby, because it's at least the message is getting out there, right? But the authenticity, you might want to step more into that, and then you might be a bit more productive. Okay. But anywho, the sun card, bottom of the deck energy. There are good things coming, happier days coming. The sun card is the happiest card in the deck. It is, fulfillment, rejoicing, celebration, and it is a major arcana talking about significant life events. With all of this wounded masculine surfacing and shit not going your way, and things completely falling apart, becoming chaotic, it's rearranging. And I know I know that it's difficult to maintain that balance and maintain that trajectory when it seems like everything is crumbling right under your feet. But energies must be shaken up, broken apart, rearranged. Okay, especially whenever we're choosing different timelines. And we have been collapsing timelines, you guys, at a rate that's been unprecedented. Okay. Especially over the last year, most definitely, but it was building up to that long before then. But over this past year span, I'm talking 12 months behind where we are right now, there has been a lot of collapsing timelines. We've done episodes on this, both before and after my, split with my previous co-host. So if you haven't noticed, we've had new Mandela effect type things surfacing, and it's getting a little crazier. But all of this has to happen. All of these timelines collapsing, all of that wounded masculine energy, which with every single timeline that we collapse, every single time we shift into another one, more of that wounded masculine energy surfaces, because you've got to keep in mind they have created multiple realities, right? They've like loopholed and started expanding and creating all these fucked up timelines, and that's why Earth is kind of the way it is right now. But all of us volunteers that have been here for decades have started slowly at first with the waves, right? The waves of volunteers. Dolores Cannon, we love her. But it started with the waves of volunteers, and as we're gaining this collective momentum with the New Earth volunteers, new Mandela effects. The Bernstein Bears, the way that they were originally, are back on this timeline again. And there are simultaneous existence of the old and the new Bernstein Bears. But and there's some other cool stuff. But so all of these timelines have to be collapsed, because you think of CERN, okay? Think CERN. And they just started going, they turned on their machines again last week, or whenever it was, a week before last week. I don't know. Time is blending together because, oh my gosh, you guys, I have my own shit. I'll tell you that in a minute. But time is real wonky. We've talked about how time isn't a real thing. Real, like, time and space is not real. Okay, my own Mandela effect. We'll just get this out of the way right now, because otherwise I'll forget it and it's going to keep nagging me until I say something, and I'll just be distracted from the rest of the reading. So, the other day I went in my email to find something for Keen, that website that I used to work for. And I stopped working for that website when I started doing this podcast, which we know has been now a year and a half, just a little over a year and a half now. That was a year and a half ago, so not 2024, it would have been 2023. My documentation reflects my closing of, my exit from Keen's website as an advisor in 2021. Tell me how my last day working with them on paper reflects 2021. Documented. When it was 2 years ago, and we're in 2025 allegedly. So 2023 would have been when I last did any work with regard to them. So you had deja vu today and yesterday. Yeah, a lot of it's happening. But that's just my own little shit. I was like, I've been like, I know this. I know all this stuff, and I know the Mandela effect stuff, and I believe that, and I've talked about it, and I understand it and stuff. But when it's something that specific in relation to me, I'm like, what happened? What did I do to make money for, the interim between 2021 and 2023? Because my tax records reflect 2023. It's the math's not mathing, you guys. So lots of moving pieces. Expect chaos, expect unexpected things to happen, both, to break up the energetics of what's happening within your life right now and what's coming in. Okay. Shifting and moving pieces. So Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, you may feel a little bit out of your feminine, little closed off. I've taken a back seat to social media for a couple weeks now. Just overwhelmment and just like all of the energies, I have been having to balance and to ground myself extra lately. And I've told you guys that, like, y'all, we're in it. You were wondering? Yeah, lots of things. So this ungrounded, closed off, the wounded feminine also surfacing in the fact that most, okay, we'll say most people who identify with and embody more dominant feminine energy are feeling very unsafe right now in this world that we live in, not just within the US, everywhere. Okay. When women's bodies are being used to scientifically experiment on how long they can gestate a fetus, when they're clinically dead and being pumped full of pharmaceutical chemicals to try to grow this fetus so that they can harvest it. They had to harvest the fetus because the woman's body was decomposing. And that is a Black woman. And I know that it would have been less likely that a white woman would have continued on in that kind of experience. Something would have legally been done. They fought the hospitals. They went to the state. They did everything to try for 4 or 5 months to get their loved one to be able to be at peace. Now they're saddled with all of that debt because they were forced to keep her artificially alive on those machines to grow, to harvest a fetus. Now that fetus was 1 pound when it was harvested, when it was extracted from its host, because she was only 5 or 6 weeks pregnant when she went into the hospital with migraines, and they wouldn't give her medication or do anything, any kind of sonograms or anything, because they found out she was 5-6 weeks pregnant, so she died. Not only that, but women are being attacked Women are being targeted. They are being followed. Like, it's everywhere. Y'all go on TikTok. and it's ridiculous. So, and the laws are being manipulated and new laws passed to take more ownership of a female body away from the female herself and assigning that to the state. So yeah, so messed up. Hi, Catherine. So the feminine is feeling very ungrounded, very unprotected right now because what the masculine is doing right now. And I'm not shaming you males and females or talking specifically directly to you. We're talking about masculine and feminine energies, okay? And all of these things have to surface so everyone can see what's been going on for quite some time. But now it's just all over the place because everyone is saying enough overreach, enough imposing your beliefs. I know as a female, okay, and one that is perceived as attractive by many in the opposite sex. That's just been, my life experience. And I'm not bragging, and I'm not saying I'm all that or anything like that. And if you don't like what I look like, I don't give a fuck. But always having old white men, and that's usually what it is, old white men approaching you and slobbering and hot breathing all over your ear, telling you how good you look or how much better you would look if you would just smile, or all of these things, or cornering you and making you feel unsafe even in a public fucking place full of people. Okay, this is something that's happened to women our entire lives, but now it's becoming more apparent to people because now more are speaking about it. And we have to have these things surface. We have to look these things right in the eye, confront them, and then pivot accordingly, because we're building the new earth. So all of these awful things have to surface. Failed my first sovereignty test today. Had to go submerge in water, fix the wonky energy. That's awesome, Catherine. I'm glad you did that. You are divinely protected, my love. Changed taxi laws here. Now there are a lot of Eastern people mainly that have been graping women intoxicated, working in taxi services, also scamming people. Yes, that happens everywhere. Yeah, that's terrible. I'm glad that they finally passed a law in Iceland about that. But it's something that men would never think about because it's never happening to them. And I'm not saying all men, okay, because I understand, effeminate men, gay men, trans men, they don't all fall into the same category as those. But you get what I'm saying here. Any effeminate man, gay man, or trans man also experiences much of the oppression that women face, except that they don't have all the gears, right? So they don't experience that part. But I'm just side questing now at this point. So all of these things have to surface. This wasn't like that 2 years ago. Dang. All of these things have to surface because we have to undo the generations of work that they put into this oppression. Okay, first of all, right next to that Six of Cups, shit coming back up around for us to face. This is actually a gift in and of itself. All of this ugliness surfacing is a gift, even though it feels like fucking hell, looks like fucking hell, and we don't enjoy any single part of it, not even one tiny little iota of it. But it's a gift, so we can actually see where we are, where we've been, and we can create something better so that no one has to experience that anymore. And the more we have to see it, the more we have it right up in our face. There's some of us human beings that it takes a lot longer to soften than it does someone like you and me. Someone like you and me sees a fucking baby with paper thin skin, 3 months old, and has lost several pounds since birth because she is starving in Gaza, and her mom cannot produce enough milk to sustain her little body. So it gives her diarrhea. Formula gives her diarrhea. She's so malnourished. We have to see that. It's hard for someone like us too. But there are others who it doesn't phase them. So they're going to have to see it and see it and see it until it breaks them down, until it softens that heart, okay? Because of generations or even lifetimes of programming, okay? Move through it and don't claim it. Yeah. So we're rebuilding, we're creating this new home for the highest good of all, not for the highest good of the few, okay? Our 10 of Cups is coming, guys. But first, we have to be faced with the truth in our own experiences and the collective scale. We're going to have to see the truth of these people behind the mask that we're connected to in our lives. We're going to have to see the true value and worth within us, within regard to what situations we elect to entertain in our lives, like jobs, friend circles, places that you might visit. Like a lot of people go to the bar scene and like a bunch of stuff, not knocking it. If you like to go to the bar, whatever, it's fine. I don't care. But spirits, for a reason, it lowers your frequency. So if you are a regular bar scene person, then you're more susceptible to lower frequencies. And if you're a regular drinker, whether that's at the bar scene or not, doesn't matter. You're more open and susceptible to these lower frequencies. So all areas of our lives, the places that we visit, the people we engage with, the people that we connect with and have relationships with, all of this, we are what we eat. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be triggered, and there's going to be massive chaos happening for us individually and collectively, and it feels like feels like we're moving through a pressure cooker wormhole. That's what my brain can come up with. Like, we're moving through this wormhole, but we're also traveling within a pressure cooker. It's hot in here, like it's intense pressure in here, but we're collapsing timelines. We're literally creating a new one, not multiple fractured, ugly, horrible, low frequency ones. No, we're collapsing them because we knew that we could do it, and that's why we volunteered, which what were we thinking? Just kidding. Have to have your little moments here and there. But we knew that we could do it. Okay. And we have to be the example. We have to be the anchor. We have to be the balance. We have to show others how it's done, demonstrate to others how it's done simply by living our lives, maintaining that clear perspective, keeping that spiritual hygiene, right? Not letting anything taint that. Because your energy ripples out. You inspire others. Look at water making a heart. Water loves you. Okay, because our energy ripples out so much, because we have the ability to affect and impact more people than the average human being does at this time, and for several eons, that's why we're here. So do your best to maintain your frequency, maintain that higher frequency, do your healing work. Feeling like an implosion is imminent. She helped me tremendously today. Aw, that's awesome. Not that the implosion part, but I'm glad that you helped you, that she helped you. Pregnancy, the gestation, right, of the new earth. We are birthing this new earth. And so why do you think the feminine is being so attacked at this time? Because the feminine energy is the one who births creation. And so there's a major energetic attack on the feminine energy at this time. But instead of history repeating itself and women just accepting and being subordinate and, or, I'm sorry, wrong word, submissive. Now we're being subordinate in their, in the patriarchal view. But instead of just lying down and playing victim and just allowing all this shit, we are advocating. We're standing up. We're getting the attention. We're saying, look, this is not okay. It never has been and it never will be. The patriarchy needs to crumble. And that is happening everywhere right now. Women's rights in Europe are under some intense scrutiny at this time, you know? And the whole colonizer energy, we'll call it, okay? Being a descendant of colonizers, right? I actually did some research a few weeks ago, and I am on from two different, like, great grandparents. Two different parts of my bloodline actually were Quakers separately from one another, you know. So that was really cool. I was like, oh, Quakers were the good guys. Well, I mean, you know, they had their religious and all that stuff, but they helped with, slavery and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, yes, that's where I get it. That's where I get it. What happened to the rest of them? Like, what happened with the rest of the family, y'all? But Seven of Swords in the reverse, we are overcoming this, underhanded, sneaky fox shit behind your back. Look at that fox down there. Sly little sneaky fox. All of these things are coming to light. That's why the masks are no longer working. They're falling off. They're doing dirty shit in our governments right in front of our faces at this point, when used to they were more covert about it, but now they're just, right on center stage. So there is no denying it. Be aware of what you put your listening eyes and ears to, and save your energy for what you want right now. Perhaps even be mindful of where you're spending, what you're spending on, what companies you are spending money with. There's a lot of them that are pro G side. A lot of them. So being mindful of spending any money right now. There's a movement called the People's Sick Day that is in the works, where people are gonna, try to. It's getting bigger now, so they're gonna try to alternate, people working and people not working, so it can crash, crash the economy a little bit, so we don't fund the WARs. But also so people aren't, not making money and not being able to live. Tossing salads publicly these days. For real, Catherine. So they're no longer able to do it behind the scenes. The veil is gone, you guys. We've talked about the veil thinning. The veil thinning, it's not going to come back. It's gone. Okay. They're already on their way out. The light has already won. The good side has already won. But of course, they're going to wreck shop as much as they can on their way out, because what wounded masculine have you ever seen that got to the point where they knew that there was no winning that conversation or no winning that situation, and they started screaming, throwing shit, punching shit, maybe even putting their hands on people or anything like that? Every time. Every single time. Okay. So it's to be expected with that energy, but we hold compassion, we hold understanding, because, lifetimes of matrix programming and cementing and pounding. Okay. That's why they were so far from source light, because being stuck on that incarnation cycle, they don't go back to source or the healing place or whatever between lives whenever they're stuck on the loop. They just they're gone, and then they go back in, gone back in, gone back in, and so you need to go back to your sanctuary, to your source from time to time to recharge, right? We got to think about it. They haven't been. They haven't been. So approaching it from a space of understanding like that, everything, everyone is source, and the demons that they create too. Okay. They may be soulless entities, but they don't not come from source, because if someone who is from source, even though they're like way far away from it, they're still of source. So any of their creations are also part of source. You understand? The universe keeps all the original receipts. Speaking of, source keeps all the original receipts, baby. They're calling them back. All right. Just be mindful of where you're investing your focus, your energy, your attention right now. And I know I gotta take this advice for myself. Stop focusing there. We're not investing there anymore, because whatever you invest in, you receive a return on. So advocacy, speaking up for yourself, speaking up on the part of the divine feminine, okay, from your divine masculine, um, grounding your own individual authentic frequency, okay? Because no matter what happens around you, if you're authentic, you are divinely protected, because that is the highest frequency. You are operating at source frequency when you are standing in your authenticity, in your authentic frequency. And that is the name of the game for a game shift, level up, okay? Trust in where, or trust in the wise spirits, and your prayer will be answered. Trust in your guidance, in your intuition, and your vision will be realized, okay? If you don't really, if you've experienced religious trauma and you don't like talking about prayer. Hi, Christy. Nice to see you. It's been forever. You've been in Australia. Nice. I hope you're going to be like posting pictures of that. So, for those of you who don't identify with the whole prayer thing because of religious traumas and things like that, trust in the wise spirits, and your vision will be realized. What you have been focused on will manifest, okay? It's all good, baby. The card says so. It's all good. Anger is going to surface, okay? Look at that hornet. Mad as a hornet, right? If the world around you seems turbulent, stop. I had to. Okay? It's been really turbulent. It's been really, because I have the foresight, okay? I can see where energies are going, and I'm one of those, like, I don't want to see energy going and manifesting like that. I don't want that happening. Who in their right mind would? So I have been having a hard time, reining it in on that side of things too. So I've had to double down, triple down on grounding and balancing myself. Retreat, go within, rebalance yourself. Okay. Retreat. Spirit healers and helpers are with you, and the light in you can lead the way. Focus on your light, focus on your balance, focus on your love. Project that out. Okay. You have your guides, your soul team with you, giving you that healing energy. But you got to go within. It's right next to that retreat card. Healing energy. Happiness is freedom from fear. There's a lot of fear being dredged up. There's a lot of ritualistic shit happening right now. Israel struck on summer solstice. Struck you wrong. Or I'm sorry, not the US for Israel. Summer solstice. On a portal day. To directly inject the fear virus into the plane on a powerful gateway. ritualistic, guys. So free yourself from investing. Okay, say for you want for what you want, right there with the original receipts card, right next to freedom from fear. Okay, they're gonna try to inject it anywhere they possibly can because they're toddlers throwing temper tantrums, fucking fighting each other, wanting to send other people to, give up their lives just to do it, which is another ritual in and of itself. Don't buy into it. We have to stop buying into that. Okay, because our own happiness, our new day is right under that freedom from fear card. Our new day is right after that freedom from fear. Okay. Masculine energy is sunshine. Okay. That sun card, it's truth. It's pure. It's not wounded. It's not attacking. It's not G-siding babies. That's not true masculinity. Masculinity in its truest form is loving, nurturing, balanced, and supportive, which also can be protective at times. But the divine feminine doesn't need protection. She's also a protector in her own right. The two energies are very similar, but more pronounced in one aspect. Okay, when they're balanced, when they're at their natural state, there's no toxicity. There's no one above the other. In a balanced individual, if they are a leader, regardless of their gender, okay, gender has nothing to fucking do with it. I wish spiritual fucking people would stop saying that too. Gender has nothing to do with it. When you are a leader and you're leading from your divine feminine, that means you're tapped into, yes, your emotions. Okay, so you can identify with, empathize with the situation or the people that you are leading or advocating for. You have that creator energy. Okay, you have the ability to create and birth new into your experience for the highest good of all. And you are open to receiving direct guidance from higher realms. Not in the masculine energy, even though you would carry that as well, being a fully balanced leader, leading from the feminine aspect. In perfect balance, we'd be open to seeing opportunities, open to creative ideas, visions for the highest good of all, because the female, okay, we'll talk about with regard to raising children. And I know that there are a lot of male fathers who take on the role of a single parent, and we're talking about when this happens, okay, when it's a single parent. Yes, there are men who are very balanced, who are able to, not all of them are balanced, I get that, okay, but they're able to parent for the highest good of all of their children. Most often, though, what you see is the female in the situation becoming the provider, the caregiver. She's working 2, 3, 4 jobs, taking care of all of her kids and the household and blah, blah, blah. 80% more females take on that role, okay, than men. Not saying that it doesn't happen, that men don't do that, because absolutely not. This is not what I'm saying. But more often than not, it's the female. And with that, okay, she can carry all of that on her shoulders and still make it through. Your dad raised you alone in the 80s. Aw. There's some really great dads out there. It's some really great, single dads or dads who ended up like getting another women or whatever, but are very much hands-on with their children. And I've seen amazing people like that, and I have some amazing people like that also in my life. But we're talking like statistically here. More often than not, it's the females that are saddled with, like me. um, Even with my daughter's father, which I'm friends with him, I respect him, and so forth. He had his own downfalls and struggles in his own life, but he wasn't there for 3/4 of my daughter's upbringing. My boys' father, not at all. Okay, he was there for maybe about an 8-month span. Physically there for about a year, maybe a little over that, with my boys. But my twins were 5 months old when I left and didn't look back. And not a dime in child support, not a nothing from that individual. So with my daughter, I didn't receive a dime of child support for years and years. Okay. So I know firsthand that that's my experience, and neither one of these people, asked me if I wanted to be the sole responsible breadwinner, caregiver, um, you know, leader of all of my kids whenever, you know, they helped me create them and then bounced. Okay. I bounced, but, I'm the one that did the bouncing, but they never stayed connected or tried to, offer any kind of help. So you're half barrel, but it all worked out. And yeah, I did have to protect my babies. And that's something that I took on as a decision. I knew that I was never going to get a dime in help for 3 lives that were created not solely by myself, but birth certificates reflect that. So, you know, I recognize that I had to take that on, and it is not easy. And I struggle daily over different things. Okay. Um, it's not a cakewalk. And just because we can make it look easy doesn't make it so. Um, that's just the power of a woman right there. But we still falter, we still struggle, we still, buckle under the pressure at times. And that's kind of me right now in the financial area. So if you want to book a reading with me, all of my services are very, very, very cheap right now. I did that in order to make it easy for all of us, for me to get a little bit more business. So if you would like to help me out, book a service with me, I would absolutely appreciate that more than you could ever know. Um, but yeah, I guess that's the end of the reading. I got so many side quests today, not even funny. Government here pays the parent having the right for child support and then charges the parent that has to pay. Yeah, I don't have anything like that. I did have child support orders from my daughter's father because we went through court and did all the things. But my boys' father, he didn't have anything to do with his first 2 children's upbringing that were adults by the time I even had our kids. So I knew, I knew that that was never going to happen. So, and I don't get state aid or anything like that, cash aid, because I don't qualify. Because I got it for my daughter when I left her father whenever she was really young for a few years, and there's a limit to how many years forever you can use that. So that is not something that I have access to either. I don't have it like a lot of people think. Oh, women have kids to get a bunch of child support. Well, what happens when you don't get the child support? Oh, you still can get state money. You can still get welfare money. No, the fuck you can't. No, you can't. Nah, that's not a thing anymore. My mother did that. My mother got paid, the whole time that I was a kid, almost all 18 years. I think it was, I think whenever I was 14, when she married my stepfather, she stopped receiving aid for me. But the state was still taking money from my dad's checks whenever he would get a job. So every time that the state of California did that, it would still give my mother the money. They did that on up until several years ago when my father actually stopped working, and now, you know, he died this past January. So my mother's not going to be getting any more checks, but she was even up until just a few years ago for back child support. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even get that. Not from daddy number one or daddy number two. So it's not like that. There ain't no, mm-mm. So I identify with and understand, you know, the single dad thing, but it ain't easy. It ain't easy. So, um, yeah, you guys can see I am the main everything. I am the everything for my children and my household. So whenever I'm not getting business, when people aren't booking with me, when people aren't, you know, ordering my products and stuff like that, what am I to do? So yeah, this is where all of my foundations are shifting and changing. And I have been considering, and I'm going to be really real with you guys. I've been considering putting less effort into the podcast, you know, the 5 days a week now, which was 6 days a week. I put a lot of time and effort, energy, money into orchestrating this entire thing, and it's not sustainable for me at this point because of, you know, censorship and things like that. I tried to build a following when right after Facebook changed their tactics and started being suppressive with creators, which is why I don't climb in my following. And even the reach that I had dwindles every week. So I'm no longer going to be sustaining Facebook's system. I will, however, be putting more focus on doing like videos for YouTube, and I'll be putting more focus on TikTok. That still isn't finished with the limbo that my TikTok profile has been in. So I haven't been posting in like almost 2 weeks now for TikTok, but I'm going to work that out and start posting more there. I will be going live there. I will do probably zodiac readings for YouTube. So you guys can still join me. I'll still do those ones live for YouTube, but I am really big pulling out of Facebook because it's pretty sad how the numbers have drastically nosedived just in the past year and a half since I even just started trying to gain a following. So yeah, Puerto Rico, the parents don't pay child support. The grandparents have to send the payments. And I don't think that's the grandparents pay child support in Puerto Rico. That's crazy. That's insanity. Even if that was the case, my ex's parents, like my ex's father is a career prisoner, and his mother died of an OD when he was 5. So I would still be SOL there. But I am also the type of person that I didn't care when my daughter's father wasn't paying me the child support. Like I would bitch about it, like you can't help. But I really didn't care that much because I don't want your money. If you feel like that about our child and you're going to do this to my child, then I don't want your money, you know? And the way that my boys' father was to all of my children, I don't want your money. I would not take your money, you know? So, interview with big podcast. I don't want to like message people and be like, yo, you should have me on your podcast because I have like less than 1,000 followers. I have a lot to say, but I don't have a following. That would be weird. That is so crazy, Sonia. That is insane. I can't believe that. Yeah, like if somebody wanted to like suggest me or nominate me or something like that, like, hey, maybe that would be a whole different story. But just me, I feel weird about, I've never been a good networking person, and I'm not a good haggling person either. So, um, you know, I just feel weird about those kind of interactions. I'm not at all bashing you for saying that, Anna, but I'm just saying that it weirds me out. Thank you, Anna. That's so sweet of you. Yeah, because I don't know. That's probably also part of why I don't really grow with regard to the social media thing, at least on Facebook, because I'm not that person that just goes to people because they have a following and be like, hey, I'm so cool and special. You know? Yeah, you get it. But that's just a me thing. That's so uncomfortable for me. So that is something I wouldn't do. Even if I was like pushed and pushed to try to get out of that comfort zone thing, I don't think that's something that I could get past. I don't know. But I'm totally down for people suggesting me and like, hey, maybe you guys should, meet up and have a chat or something. That would be totally cool. But I've even in like situations with people, I don't just go up to them and be like, hi, I am so and so. Guess how good I am. Big stage and a bit of help. Yeah. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I know. And I'm actually thinking about changing my TikTok back to the shop and then just like putting some informational, like you can purchase a PDF from my shop type thing or some kind of random product. I know people are doing that. I don't know. Because whenever I did have my shop up and running for that couple of days, my like I was in the algorithm getting 1,000 views on each video within 24 hours. So it's so not like that right now because I switched and it's in limbo right now. But yeah, one timeline to gain more followers. Yeah, that's why I'm more so, and I know TikTok is already starting the same suppressive shit that Facebook started a while ago, but getting in there and playing the game the right way, I can definitely get a bigger following on there, which will, start the snowballing effect. So that's where I'm going to focus. It's not that I don't love our community here on Facebook. It's not that I don't want to show up for you guys. It's just that I show up and show up and show up and put so much into it, and I don't get really a lot of return on, the following generating and those kind of things, which also expands my clientele base, right? So that I don't have to worry about telling you guys all the time, yo, like someone book with me because I need to pay my bills so I can keep the lights on or so that I can keep the roof over my head. Because yeah, I own my house, but I have to pay rent for the land that it's on because I don't own the land. So I'm behind on that, you guys. It's almost next month, time for rent again, and I haven't paid this month's rent for my land. So I'm being real with you guys. I need bookings. I need some, stimulation in the financial flow. So I would absolutely love anyone who would book a service. I even have the $22 pre-recorded one question readings still up on my website. My 30-minute readings are $44 right now. My 1 hour readings take a lot more energy, so those are still $111 right now. And then my healing sessions, everything is on sale. My past life regressions and my quantum regressions are drastically price chopped right now. So please, please, please go to my website, rebelspiritrising.com, and book with me. I do still have products on there available for sale. So you guys know what to do. You're teaching Ellie about pierogies. Nice. That sounds bomb. I haven't been eating for the last couple of days except for like a couple pieces of jerky or cheese. I've been like, my body has not wanted food lately. But yeah, Stress will do that to you. So yeah, I'm just putting it out there for you guys, trying to push myself into my divine feminine energy. I am open to receive, but I am not trying to get shit for free. If you want to tip me just out of the kindness of your heart, that's absolutely beautiful. I know that some of you have done that and it really just warms my heart, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm Capricorn stellium. I will do the work. I just, I want to work. You've only eaten chips and salsa. I was doing that last week. I was eating chips and salsa. It's hot, so our bodies like don't really want to eat a lot. And if we do, it's something light, But also the energies have been so chaotic. So my vessel's like, oh, please don't eat or we'll puke. But yeah, I did the chips and salsa last week, and then I've been barely eating maybe a couple pieces of jerky or cheese a day. These little, I got them right here. I'll show you. They're beef sticks. I have jerky, like regular jerky too, but these are the things that we've been eating, or I've been eating, me and the dog, because I don't like the little, I'll show you guys. We're doing spiritual hangouts. We didn't have a topic, so you guys get to see my weird shit. So these little things, so the ends of them, these little like butthole looking things, and they're all twisted, I don't like that part. So I bite them off and then I give them to the dog. Chips are salty. Yeah. I get these tortilla chips that they don't have a lot of salt on them because they do get way too salty. But if you smother it in salsa, it's better. It takes care of the saltiness. I saw popular on YouTube is love readings. I know. Maybe combined with good SEO, tarot with just the cards and hands visible and the audio. Yeah. I did a lot of the love readings and, in my work on Keen and stuff. And I cringe now because they're always like, am I good enough for him to love me? Or is he going to come back to me even though he cheated on me with my cousins, baby daddy's sisters, baby mama? Like, it gets, when our consciousness expands and rises to such a degree, those kinds of things are just really icky energy, The salsa has some salt too, I'm sure. Yeah, probably so. Not my homemade salsa. I don't put salt in my homemade salsa. It doesn't resonate for me anymore. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. See, it would get old fast. And I used to do them a lot, no real problem with it, because I would also try to, empower them and deliver the messages, because the cards, the energy, it's going to be real. It's going to give me, so I would try to work with them and empower them while also delivering the messages that came through. And they don't want to hear it. They'll even just hang up on you. Like, you're not telling me what I want to hear. I'm going to call somebody who I can pay money to tell me what I want to hear. So it was like an endless loop of nothing. So even though, yeah, it could make good money, but my personal integrity, I couldn't do that. I couldn't just lie to them because they're paying me for the answer that they want. And that's really what they want whenever they're focused on that. Yeah. So I do plan on doing general readings on, like, zodiac sign readings on YouTube. That's how I started out way, like, years ago. And then I stopped. But I think I'm going to get into that again. And then also try to, so the TikTok videos, I'm also going to post those same videos as reels on Facebook. So you guys will still see them on Facebook. And I'll still post like the links for my zodiac YouTube readings and stuff to Facebook. So that'll still all be on Facebook. But the TikToks that I make, I will put those in reels on Facebook and shorts on YouTube. So the same messages on all three platforms. And then I'll do more lives on TikTok. So those of you who have TikTok, and I will still come live on Facebook too. I'm not going to completely like just desert everybody. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just have to focus more in these areas where I can grow, because Facebook is just, it's like a desert now. And there's tumbleweeds. Like, oh, did you see that tumbleweed just roll by? So, yeah, I'm not, it's not like I'm going to completely abandon everybody or anything like that. Absolutely not. But like the same schedule with this same, you know, hour and a half, 5 days a week, week in, week out, with topics and everything. It's so much and it takes from other areas of my life. I just can't give solely to this anymore. But if I can make shorter form videos and, you know, scatter them across all three platforms, I can still, you know, build the engagement and build the following while still being, you know, interacting with you guys and everyone. So absolutely not going to like completely pull out of Facebook or anything like that, but it's just not going to be my main focus. But I will continue to post everything to that just for our community because we started out here. So yeah, I want everyone to know I'm not going to completely abandon, but I am going to be switching things up. Um, Love interests, yeah, for real, in college. Like, we're grown now. But yes, there are a lot of people that are very successful at doing the love readings and stuff, but it's the same kind of um, loop that people are stuck on. It's not aligned with growth and expansion, and that's really where my heart is, with growth and expansion. So that's the only reason I said that. But very, very, very great idea, Sue. Thank you. But anywho, well, now that I've told you guys that, I'll make a post because I know that not everyone's going to be watching the replay and not everyone watches each episode that we do here. But this week I am going to be tapering off a little bit. So it was the 1900s. Oh my goodness. Yes, way back in the 1900s when I was in college. Mine was early 2000s. I did do a little bit of college, you know, after high school, but I never finished. Yes, I will. I will. I'll make it in a post, um, and let everybody know exactly what's going to be going on. But it's gotten to a point over the past like couple of months, where I know I've been told that I need to pivot. Like even with people outside of me just suggesting randomly like, hey, you should give less to the constant like long form, you know, episodes and do more short form content because people's attention spans and this and that. Like I've had a few people actually just peep me in on that, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I really love the community. I love what we've built. I don't want to like do anything to, you know, disrupt that. But with my system, my physical body has been being infected a lot, just by, you know, all the back end stuff and everything, and I am being redirected, and I just continue being stubborn. And I'm like, no, I'm going to continue doing this, but it's not going to completely go away, and I will notify you guys when I'll be going live on TikTok and things like that. And it will be more of the like similar, like the readings, the collective readings, and then a topic, or maybe do the readings in videos and then just like go live on TikTok to discuss topics. I will also be doing the lives on TikToks for like the one card readings and the tips readings and things like that. Um, but yeah, we'll still come together on in this type of space, because I will still be streaming live the zodiac readings for YouTube. So And you guys can watch your zodiac readings, like readings on YouTube and things like that, for all of your major signs, and for your, like your North Node and things like that. So most people have different signs for each of those planets, so you can still get quite a bit of me in on those readings. Thank you guys. I love you. I know you guys support me no matter what. And I it's I haven't wanted to do this. I've been battling myself on, like, the guides and stuff, and back and forthing with them, and it's like you're getting more and more restricted until eventually what are you going to do? So that's what I'm doing. So I will keep you guys posted on how this is going to unfold. And like I said, hold on. I lost what I was going to say. So I'll keep you guys posted on how this is going to unfold. And it's not, I'm probably going to, evolve those things as we move forward. Just seeing what hits, what works. And so we might have a little test period for the schedule. But yeah, I will definitely let you guys know, and I'll be doing a lot more short form videos, more to the point, without all of the long drawn out side quests that take you guys an hour and a half to get everything in. So yeah, I think it'll be more beneficial in that way, but we'll still come together and do, lives where we don't really have like the zodiac readings or anything like that, just for hangouts and soul fam and stuff like that. So thank you, Catherine. We lovingly accept. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Susan. All right, guys. Well, I love you so much. I will keep you posted on the way things are going to happen. I'm not quite sure yet. So just you'll be the first to know. I'll post it to Facebook and you'll be the first to know. So I love you guys so much. I will see you very, very, very soon. Take care of yourselves. Mwah. And be excited because things are changing, but things don't change for bad. They change for the better. So that's what we're looking forward to. All right. I love you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Susan. Thank you all. I love you so much, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Mwah. Take care.